SpaceX shares stunning views of Earth from 22,236 miles in space. The GOES-U satellite as it separates from the Falcon Heavy's second stage 22,236 miles above Earth. Image, NASA TV. This is not investment advice. The author has no position in any of the stocks mentioned. .com has a disclosure and ethics policy. After its first and penultimate launch of the Falcon Heavy took place yesterday, SpaceX shared breathtaking views of the rocket's payload being deployed thousands of miles above the Earth 4.5 hours after launch. The Falcon Heavy launched the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's, NOAA, GOES-U satellite, which is part of the GOES-R program. This spacecraft is the final satellite in the series, and it will provide up-to-date information on weather trends in the Western Hemisphere. SpaceX's GOES-U satellite deployment provides remarkable views of Earth from thousands of miles in space. Yesterday's launch was quite interesting as SpaceX, NASA and NOAA's decision to postpone the original launch time by just 10 minutes made all the difference in allowing SpaceX to launch the Falcon Heavy. According to a NOAA representative, the decision to shift the launch forward was based on an East Coast sea breeze clashing with a West Coast breeze over Florida. Shifting the launch forward allowed the rocket to avoid the anvil clouds over the pad, which are a no-go criterion for launch, particularly since the rocket itself can generate lightning if it flies through them. After liftoff and stage separation, Falcon Heavy's second stage traveled to the Geostationary Transfer Orbit, GTO, for more than 4 hours before the GOES-U satellite separated from the rocket. During this time, the rocket fired its single Merlin vacuum engine thrice. The first of these burns took place soon after the second stage's fairings separated, while the second burn took place a little over 26 minutes after liftoff and lasted for a minute and a half. The third burn took place after a coast phase of 3 hours and 15 minutes after the second burn to deliver GOES-U to its GTO destination. From GTO, the satellite raised its orbit for the GEO orbit, where it should spend at least 20 years, according to the NOAA. As is the case with nearly all of its launch live streams, SpaceX also shared live views of the GOES-U satellite separating from the Falcon Heavy's second stage. This remarkable footage showed the satellite separating from the second stage at roughly 22,236 miles above Earth. The distance made the planet appear to be the size of a small ball, and after the separation, the satellite started its journey to its final orbital destination, which is 35,700 kilometers above Earth. The GOES-U satellite is roughly the size of a small bus, and it is powered by a 5-panel solar array for its electrical systems. Weighing over 6,000 pounds, the satellite carries 7 advanced instruments that will provide weather forecasters and climate scientists with real-time weather data from space. Its instruments include one that will analyze solar winds, which have become quite important as of late, especially since SpaceX itself has thousands of Starliner satellites in low Earth orbit, LEO, which are vulnerable to these storms. NOAA launched GOES-U in partnership with NASA's Launch Services Program, which delegates the initial phase of TE satellites operations to the space agency. NASA will complete in-orbit checkouts and health evaluations of the spacecraft before control is handed over to NOAA. GOES-U will take roughly 2 weeks to reach its orbit, after which the NOAA will designate the spacecraft as GOES-19.